What are you doing? So, I just look like a complete, utter... Yeah, I'm not doing that special effect. This is way more funnier. Well, at least I got that. I remember getting this game back on the PS2 and getting it at the time because I wasn't old enough to get this game, and the box art of it just looks awesome. So I asked someone in the shop if they would get this game for me if I gave them the money, and to my surprise, they did. Oh yeah, I do remember getting this game back in the day. So when I saw that BloodRayne got an update in my Steam library, I instantly clicked that download button. And the problems that I had with the original Steam port, like the display resolution, and the bad controls, and the random crashes, had seemed to have vanished in the Terminal Cut version. And I could set up the controller easily and turn it on in the option menu. That's when I was like, at last I can play the PC port of BloodRayne. I don't believe it! It works! It finally works! For the story, Rayne is looking for her father because he killed her mother, so Rayne is on a warpath of vengeance, killing any vampire what she sees to get any information on his location. Then the secret Brimstone Society sees what Rayne can do and recruits Rayne into their order. And Rayne has no questions whatsoever about their order. Actually, you don't really learn much about their order throughout the whole game. BloodRayne is a third-person hack and slash with guns and lots of blood. What's sort of like a horror game what was released back in 2002 and then got an updated version this year. You play as Rayne, who's a half vampire known as a Dhampir, so Rayne has some of their weaknesses as other vampires, like water burns her skin and she needs a feed, but she also has a lot of their strengths as well, like moving faster, jumping higher, and healing quickly while feeding. Rayne is not a plain personality. She's sarcastic at times and has a sense of humour, alongside sexy joke talk to the enemy, what did make me laugh on more than one occasion.
We had no idea the troublemaker
But be as beautiful as you are.
And gentlemanly. My luck is turning.
What is your name, Fräulein?
Why bother with names? This won't be more than a one-night stand.
Ah, that is too bad.
A shame, really. We were hoping for...
Something more of a commitment.
You know, you two remind me of someone.
Someone you're fond of?
Wouldn't go that far. Just someone I killed. Again and again.
She speaks of Hedrox.
When you first start off, the story takes place in 1933, then there's weird reports in this swamp place what's overflooded, so Rayne and her friend Mince goes to investigate this small village, and you quickly find out that nothing is right. You got walking corpses, giant insects, so if you're a bit squeamish over insects, avoid this place for your holiday. And then once when you complete that area and fight its boss, that's when the game does really start to get going. The majority of the game takes place in 1938 of you breaking into a Nazi base and eliminating certain targets or just eliminating everything like I did. Then the plot thickens when these demonites start popping heads off and taking control of people's bodies.
Very attractive.
And that's still not all. Rayne finds out that they are after this Agent Being's body part, like Belial's heart, eye, and so on, to make themselves more powerful and have supernatural powers. For the controls, I think they have improved a lot in the Terminal Cut version. It's not like the previous version. That version doesn't exist to me anymore. It still feels weird though, having the blade attack as a left bumper. And I only seem to encounter one camera issue is with these spiral stairs where the camera doesn't move fast enough to keep up with Rayne. Apart from that, I had no problems with the camera. It's just that tiny little part with them spiral stairs. Rayne has her trusted blades to help her on her journey, and you can use any gun that you come across. And it's an auto pickup method, and Rayne can carry up to 8 different weapons. It's more of a pick up and throw away weapons when Rayne is done with them. And Rayne also has a harpoon, what can be a very useful tool, especially for feeding. You've got access to vampiric powers like Vampire Vision, what shows you your goal to the level and see how much health an enemy has got. Yet this is something that I rarely use, where it has the marker in the bottom right hand corner of where the radar is on the map. So once when the novelty wore off of having Vampire Vision, I didn't really use it after that. I just paid attention to the marker. And then there's a slow down time ability, what I found quite useful, where there's a lot of enemies around me. That's when I used it the most, or on some boss fights in all. I found the slow down time power a very useful tool. And then there's the Blood Rage mode, what charges up by cutting down enemies. When activated it increases more damage, and Rayne does all these cool moves and you see limbs going off everywhere. I've got to say that this power never got old for me. I might have enjoyed it a bit too much. And Rayne can gain next level Blood Rage attacks, although I found that it's not clear how you unlock these next level Blood Rage modes. I think that it's key points throughout the campaign, but I could be wrong about that. And then we get to the last power, what you get over the halfway point throughout the campaign. It's Belial's Eye, what allows you to zoom in and out of targets to shoot them in first person. Nevertheless, this is something that I never used because I found it not to be accurate enough. It felt useless to me. I could not really get along with it, so I just forgot about it. You can jump on enemies and feed on them to restore your health, yet I found myself feeding on everything that I came across instead of fighting and using them as a meat shield, so I didn't get hit so much. And when that one was done, I fed on the next enemy in a kind of like domino effect. I like how the game gives you these different ways to attack and it's up to you how to handle it. So yeah, in my playthrough, Rayne was in an all-you-can-eat buffet. There is so much blood in this game, I mean a shit ton of it, that Rayne decorates the floor in it. It's unbelievable by how much blood there is in this game, and that's not including the dismemberment of limbs. That's in another category on its own. There are like puzzle elements like find a battery so you can use the lift, or open up the door to the next area, or find a breakable wall. Only certain walls can be broken, usually it indicates which ones can be broken with a crack in it. And there is a bit of 3D platforming later on in the game, yet this is very little platforming that you'll be doing throughout the whole game. The save system, you can only really save between each area, although you can save at any time in the menu, except if you load up that save, you'll be back at the beginning of the stage again. There seems to be no checkpoint system, so if you're halfway through the level or near the end and die, it's back to the beginning of the stage again. And this can be a bit frustrating, especially if you're playing on the hardest setting. General enemy AI is not that difficult. I found that they all use a similar pattern to each other, and once when I learned that pattern, the AI did not have much of a defense. Especially where I kept on feeding on them, and some will try and block Rayne from feeding on them, yet I just run right behind them, and that would allow Rayne to feed on them. Apart from them vampire werewolves, I found that they could be a bit of a git. Boss fights can be a bit challenging. The ones that I found to be a bit challenging is the priest with that machine gun and shield tomb, where you have to go to the back of him to hit him, where he keeps on changing from side to side in the stage. And the other one was the last boss fight. I kept on running out of ammo, and you need ammo on that last boss fight. The enemy variety in this is quite good at first. You're fighting humanoid enemies and then giant insects, then later on you're killing Nazis and facing these human head poppy things. Well, I think they're called demonites, but I've got to refer to the instruction manual on that, and the list still goes on. Then later on you're up against these werewolf vampires, what can give a bit of a fight, and I can't forget that you get to pilot Metal Gear Rex. I'm not kidding, you do this while taking down other Metal Gears. I was actually gobsmacked by this, but it was very enjoyable. The level designs are like these set areas. Once when you complete the zone, you're into the next area. There is a little bit of backtracking when you're in a base, eliminating targets, where there can be up to 3 targets in that area. Earlier on I said that water burns Rayne's skin, and in the first level, where most of the level is contained of water, it's kind of annoying. And this is really the only level in the whole entire game like this compared to the rest of the game. which just puzzles me. Why is the first level so full of water? You could tell that some of the makers of this game had fun with it because of a movie reference what I found from Indiana Jones. Yes, I found that one, and I do like it when developers go the extra mile and incorporate little references like this. As for the animation, it's generally quite good, but with Rain it can seem a bit robotic at times and does take a bit of time to get used to. It's just when you first start off, it's just like, it's all stiff, it's like... So, it just takes a little bit of time to get used to. For the graphics, it's alright for the year that this game came out. Yeah, there were better looking games than this at the time if you're playing it on the PS2. However, BloodRayne Terminal Update was a needed update, and now I can play in 4K resolution. But I've got to address this. Everything moves from the hair to the... Come on, tell me that's not the first thing that you didn't notice. True. For the sound effects, the weapon sound is really good. I was surprised by how good they sound. And for the soundtrack, I can't really remember any of it apart from the title menu theme. There's nothing that really stuck out for me. I like the high quality cutscenes, and back in the day this was brilliant. Except one cutscene does stick out more than the others, is when Rain is trying to assassinate a target and toys with that target. This scene does make more of an impression for me than the others because it shows more of Rain's personality. Although there's not really that many CG cutscenes, I think there's around about 3, maybe 5 in the whole entire game. That's including the one at the beginning of the game when you load it up. As for characters, they're not really that memorable apart from Mince, who you meet at the beginning of the game. And you got the generic bad guy. Apart from that, I can't remember anyone else. Oh wait, I forgot the 6-foot blonde evil doctor. Yes, I just watched Beverly Hills Cop. For the voice acting, it's a hit and a miss. Sometimes it's alright, and other times I just laugh by how cringy the accents can be. On the contrary though, this could have been intentional, and if so, I'll give a thumbs up to it. It did make me laugh. However, Rain's voice acting is generally quite good for the time, and I think that the voice actor probably laughed a couple of times from this because of all the slurping and moaning that Rain does while feeding, and trying to keep a straight face while doing this is a challenge on its own. Trying to keep a straight face on this, yeah. For how long the game is, I clocked on 5.5 hours, so it's not a very long game for the time when this game came out, which I found a bit disappointing, except I did have fun in them 5 hours and felt like a complete overpowered badass throughout the whole entire game. So in the end, I know that BloodRayne is an average game for its time when it was released, yet I can't help but to like this game, and I think that it's one of them games that you're going to like it or you don't. And yes, this game did bring back memories for me, and I appreciated that they did bring out this new update of this game called Terminal Cut, and where I had the old Steam version on my PC and got this new updated game for free, I've got to say thank you Terminal Reality. So have you played BloodRayne? What do you think of it? Leave it in the comments below. Until next game, you guessed it, I'm fucking off. It works! It finally works! Such a happy sight to see. That wouldn't really make a good drinking game. You can keep the straightest face.